Hey there, everyone. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day. So, today we're going to talk about some time management hacks that I use. And let's jump right in. So, the first hack that I use is actually prioritization. And I know that kind of sounds funny because how can prioritization really help with time management? And I debated on sharing this, not this one, but my example with you guys, because I don't want to ever have people think that I'm bragging. But um, I thought if I share it, you'll understand better about how to prioritize in your life. So, in 5 years, so I completed a PhD, which I think I read probably between 200 and 400 books and articles, because when I counted in my dissertation, I have 175 references in there. So that's a lot of reading. I also worked a full-time job. I wrote and published 2 books, and I published an article in an international journal. I got to watch Marcus earn his second degree and third degree black belt. I went to Tuscarora Park a couple times over the in every summer. So Tuscarora Park, for those of you who are not from our area, is this beautiful nostalgic park. They have a Ferris wheel and a carousel, and they serve my favorite caramel apples with peanuts. It's amazing. So if you ever get a chance, it's in New Philly, you should definitely visit that park. I also had dinner with my family, and I got to sleep. So if I got all that done, I had to prioritize, and so there's things that I didn't get to do. So I probably watched maybe an hour of TV every month if I was lucky in that time frame. I didn't get to read any fun books, and I am a big science fiction fan, so I didn't read any of those kind of books. Although I will tell you this, I listened to books on tape. So in my car, there were times that I was able to listen to those kind of books if I wasn't listening to books that were for school. So I did cheat a little bit in there. Homework went with me everywhere. So when we went on vacation, my homework went with me. When I went to work on some overnight work stuff, it went with me, and I did homework. And then I didn't get to play any fun games on my phone or on my computer, and I did very little social media because I had priorities. I had things I wanted to accomplish. So first step, get some priorities. The second thing I do is I chunk. And I don't know, I tried to figure out, where did that word come from? Where did I pick up that word? But here's what it is. It means whenever I'm working on something, I really focus on it. I don't multitask. I really just focus on that one project that I'm working on. And I work until I get to a stopping point, and then I go back and work on it again later. I also really limited my email. And I know this is going to sound weird, but literally, if you leave your email open on your computer, it pops up all the time. And then you're going, oh, I should go answer that person, or, oh, I should do whatever they're asking me for. Here's what I believe, and other people may disagree with me, but literally, I have my email open first thing in the morning. I check it. I close it. If there was things I need to handle, I handle it. I check it again before lunch. I check it at 3 o'clock, and then I check it before I finish up for the day. And that keeps me from getting distracted by things that are not, they might be important to other people, but they're not key for me getting all my stuff completed. But I still want to respond to them and be thoughtful with them. So I just keep it shut, open it, take care of those things, and then I close it back down. My third thing that I do is daily discipline. And I know that sounds crazy, and it's not. I think a lot of people think that discipline is a bad word, and it's not. It's such an important key to us being successful. So I use a day timer, my Outlook, and my Google Calendar. So my Google Calendar, I also use an app called Calendarly, and that allows people to schedule themselves for a time that works within my schedule, which is really easy to do. And then I also text myself emails. So those of you who have not used this, it's a really good way to keep yourself organized. So in my texting, I have my email set up, and I'll send myself a text. So if somebody asks me to do something, I don't have to try to remember it or worry about it. I just text it to myself. And then when I check my email in the morning or the next time I check my email, I just add that to my to-do list so it doesn't get lost. All right. The fourth thing I do is I set deadlines. For almost everything I do, I have a deadline. And basically when I have that deadline, I'm not waiting until I get closer to the deadline before I start working on that project. I actually have a project that's due the first week in first week in September, which it's like publishing then. So I need to have it done. And I actually started working on that project last year, probably in the middle of the summer. So I set deadlines for when I want to accomplish things, and I work towards that deadline, trying to get it done as soon as I can. I would much rather have it done ahead of time. So that way, when I get to the deadline, I don't have to worry. And if there's something that comes up, like an emergency, I'm not stressed because I have this deadline and I'm not even close to being done. Most of the time, by the time I get to the deadline, I'm completely done with the project. All right, number 5. One of the things that I had to learn with my time management was to really listen to myself, especially since I was saying no a lot. And there'd be times I would say no and I'd be like, oh man, I really want to do that. And if I started having that feeling a lot of, oh man, I really want to do that, and I felt like I was missing out, then what I would do is I would have to really listen to myself and say, okay, do I need to do something that's fun, that is more family related, that makes me feel good? Because if I start feeling bad, then I'm not motivated to do anything. So I would recommend you just pay attention to yourself when you're trying to prioritize and all the stuff that you're trying to do, and make sure that you feel good. And if you don't feel good, then you need to reevaluate what you're working on. All right, number 6 is delegation and outsourcing. So one of the things that I've done for my time management that has helped me a lot is I couldn't have got all that stuff done all by myself. Can you imagine doing everything that I did and trying to keep my house clean at the same time? I don't love cleaning house, for starters, but I especially don't love it when I'm all stressed out. So I actually hired my cousin, and she cleaned my house for me my whole entire time I was doing my PhD. And that took that extra stress off because it just isn't something I love to do. And on top of that, I was just like, oh, so find things that you don't love to do and see if you can outsource them. I hired an editor who edited my books. They edited my paper that I got published in the International Journal. They edited my dissertation work for me because I'm not a good editor. If you guys read my stuff, you'll notice I don't have great grammar, and most of the time I can catch the spelling because of spell check, but I don't have great grammar or great spelling. So I could have a choice. I could stress over that and really worry about trying to get it right and do it myself, or I could find somebody who that's their strength, and I could ask them, hey, will you use your strength to help me where my weakness is? And I think that's one of the things that has really helped me become more successful, is the fact that I realize where I'm not strong, and I don't beat myself up about it. I just admit it. Hey, it's not a great place, but there's somebody who has a strength, and I can use their strength to help me. I also hired graphic designers and people to design work for me, because if you see my graphics when I make them, which I do a lot, they're just not amazing. But if I want them amazing, then I hire somebody to do that for me. So here's the thing, though, that I think is the most important piece of really trying to manage your time, manage yourself, and get to where you want to be as a professional, as a person, whatever you're trying to do is, you have to really just take the time to understand, what are you really trying to achieve? If you want to achieve great things, then you have to understand, well, there's going to be something that you're going to give up if you want to do something really cool, and make sure that you're willing to pay that price. For me, I really wanted to do my PhD, but if all of a sudden I was struggling with my personal life, because I would never in a million years give up my husband and son for something that's crazy that I want to do. Now, I might feel grumpy about it, like, oh, I can't do this because they're not being supportive, but I wouldn't trade that relationship. And this is why I've seen way too many people who became really successful in business. And when I talk to them and they're sharing with me that, hey, I wanted to do this because I wanted my family to have more and be able to do more. And then years down the road, their family's no longer there because they didn't keep that relationship going. So the whole reason they were working and trying to be successful was really gone because they lost that connection. So I would never want that to happen to you in your pursuit of success, because I love my family. That's just me. I just want that connection. So keep that in mind. I hope that this has helped you, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day and almost to the weekend. So have a great weekend, and I will talk to you next week.